Welcome, everyone. Congratulations. This is our third episode of Modern Slackers, the 5 modern pillars to success. Today, we are discussing physical appearance. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen and show you guys why this is so important as a pillar of success. And then we're going to bring on a very special guest and a guest host of the show who has dominated in the physical appearance sector. And I'm so excited to introduce him. But let me go ahead and get this going. Let me share this screen real quick. Chrome tab, modern slackers. Here we go. So we have the 5 modern pillars to success. Number 1 is investing. Second is physical appearance. We rank this number 2 because we believe that once you're comfortable in your own skin, you get to make more dominant decisions. Then it goes all the way down from networking, entrepreneurship, finding your niche, dating, and relationships. Those are what we've defined as a all-around successful life. So I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing and bring in our special guest, Cooper. How you doing, Cooper?
Doing fantastic, my man. How are
you? Good
to
see you, man.
Yeah, it's been the first time meeting in person, so that's awesome.
Oh, good, man. Well, I got my beard trimmed up last night or 2 nights ago for Caleb's fight. So, yeah, he man, it was a slugfest, and he's trying to join right now. I don't want to embarrass him by throwing up the pictures. Did you see some of the pictures in the group chat?
Dude, I saw a couple of them. How was that? Did he do good?
No comment. No comment.
Really? Oh, man.
Okay, let me see if these are connected and working. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Good deal. So basically, it came down to a slugfest. Caleb had a cold going into the fight. And so, first off, when you have a cold, your brain isn't really connecting with your body too well. So, he's a champion, a warrior for doing the fight. I'm going to pull up a photo in a little bit of what it looked like. But that's pretty much off topic. If he hops on, I'd love to have his. He's done some dramatic transformations for MMA fighting and really going from skinny to buff. That's what I did. And you took the opposite route, right?
Yeah, for sure. At one point, I was 215, and that was my heaviest. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, I found a photo on your Instagram. You were definitely a little chunky kid, but you turned your life around. So that's kind of what I want to talk about is like what got you into that mindset of making fitness a priority?
For sure, man. So really what happened was I got into sports my whole life and I was always into fitness, but junior year of high school, I ended up breaking my back.
Oh no.
Doing deadlift and some just went off and the lower lumbar of my spine just gave out. And so I couldn't walk for about 6 months. And during that time is when I gained 50 pounds. And pretty much, from that point, when you are that heavy and just unhealthy, it really drains your mental health.
Yeah.
A lot. And so that's what really got me pushed towards, self-improvement, bettering myself, and just kind of heading down that journey.
It's funny that you say that because, when I was skinny, I was weighing 115 pounds last year. And like, I just felt so worthless, like to the world. I felt like, I couldn't date women. I couldn't attract women or quality women. And I just felt so pathetic in my own skin. Did you have any sort of that psychology barrier?
Dude, for sure.
Yeah.
And a lot of it does play on your confidence 100%.
Oh yeah, for sure. So let's talk about the journey a little bit. Like, what was the first step that you took to make it a priority? Because most people go to the gym, sign up for New Year's, and then they drop off after a couple weeks because it requires work.
Dude,
why didn't you stop?
It all starts with the mind, for sure. So I think mental health is huge, and that's where I really started in my journey. Making a priority to get off social media. That's my job. It's kind of funny to say that.
Sure.
But, staying away from comparison, making gratitude journals and really just taking care of my mental health. And that alone helped me make it a priority to transfer into fitness and then getting your macros down, your nutrition, all that good stuff.
So I heard a quote the other day that it was 80% nutrition, 20% exercise. How truthful is that statement?
Dude, that is spot on.
Is it really?
Yes, 100%.
Okay, because I my nutrition. I mean, I ate a couple Twinkies this morning, so I feel it. Like, it's funny when you eat high carbs, like it either gives you energy or you become sluggish. And for
Mhm.
me, I become super sluggish after I eat a couple Twinkies. Maybe it's the sugar. I don't know, but I was watching this boxing match, and Anthony Ruiz says that he eats Snickers before each boxing match, and he's a big, heavy set dude. So I always thought it was funny. That doesn't translate with me in the gym at all. So
Yeah. It's like a big Thanksgiving meal, like the
yeah.
food coma.
Yeah, I've never experienced that until last year. Like when I finally started putting on weight and eating, 4 or 5,000 calories a day, like that's when my brain slowed down a little bit. It was like, dude, we got to process what's in your stomach first.
Yeah,
So I have
for
a
real.
couple, I did some research into how to design a fitness program. I kind of want you to take your, or have a take on each line item that I have here. So the number one comes up is consider your fitness goals. What do you have to say with that?
For the number one in building your plan.
Yeah, I got 8 of them. So you could rearrange them if you want.
Yeah, for sure. No, so I think setting your goals is where you got to start because you want a goal that is long term, but also short term goals as well.
Why do you say that? And I love what you said, and I'll tell you why.
For sure. So if you set a long term goal, say you want to gain 15 pounds, that may take a year. Like
Right.
if you're a hard gainer, it may take a fucking year. But the little goals along the way, building strength, getting your mindset right, building confidence, those are going to help kind of propel you towards the long term goal.
In business, small successes create big victories. And so I always try to create obtainable goals. And I mean, it doesn't matter this could be in anything. You're running track, right? You just want to beat by a second 100-meter dash. I mean, you got to set small goals for yourself. And there was a study that every time you complete a small goal, you get a dopamine rush. So you can actually get addicted to achieving your own damn goals. And I think it's amazing because I get a mental high every time I hit a different milestone. But I don't go for the moon. Of course that's the goal, but I have these smaller steps in place to get there. Like so with your fitness journey, you had to figure out the diet, then you had to go to the gym, then you probably plateaued at some point, right? And had to change what you were doing, and then you hit your goal. So as far as goal setting, would you say that's pretty high up on the list for fitness?
100%. Yes.
Okay. What about people that decide? I'm talking about the people that buy gym memberships, become donors. And what I mean by donors is they never go to the gym after January 1st. They got the New Year's resolution plan, but they don't stick with it. What advice do you have to those guys besides, just flipping them off? Because obviously they have no interest in it.
Right. Just taking up space in the gym.
Yeah.
Um, but I mean, dude, it all comes down to consistency. So what I've seen with my clients personally doesn't matter, guy, girl, 16, 32, however old they are. Consistency is the one thing that truly shows the difference between like okay results, if any, and great results.
I'll give you an example. I like what you just said there because you have to be consistent. There's a book called The Compound Effect, and all it talks about is doing a bunch of small things to compound over time. And that's what the gym is because you literally don't see results immediately at the gym unless you're doing biceps or chest, right? You'll see the chest pump, but you're not
Mhm.
going to see a big difference. And what I noticed in my fitness journey, which is funny, I hope one of the guys is watching. I know Caleb, he told me, "Hey, John, I think you're stronger than you really are." I was doing the same exact workout for 6 months. He doubled all the weight and I was able to crush those reps. So it was like a mental barrier in my head that I thought I could only lift so much, but I was able to crush double the amount of weight. So that was just like a mental barrier I had to break through. Did you have to experience anything like that?
Yeah, I think a lot of it was the weight loss aspect since I did start from that end. And I think after, like the 10 pounds, the first 10 pounds are the hardest.
Yeah, I bet.
After that, it just gets the ball rolling and kind of like a snowball effect. So I think going up to the 10 pounds, it felt like a plateau. But, you know, the snowball effect kind of helps you to progress. So,
Okay, good. All right, let's go to number two. Create a balanced routine. Now, I don't think I have a balanced routine at all. I think mine is I wake up and if I feel like going to the gym at 6 a.m. or 9 p.m. I'm going no matter what, but I don't have any balance. Like, what would you say to that? If someone came to you and said, no, you need to create a balanced routine, how would you fare on that?
For sure. So, I mean, I do think it's about balance, but it's also about your priorities. So, I mean, you fit into your schedule what you prioritize. So, if you're going to prioritize your fitness, your mental health, like you're going to make a point to do your morning routine, get a workout in, and that's going to set the tone for your day. So, I think it is all about, your priorities and somewhat balance, but, also find a schedule or find routine that fits your schedule.
Okay.
Mhm.
So have it work for you, right? Is what you're saying.
For sure.
So I've seen a lot of personal trainers. I know you're really good, and basically they try to force a certain routine that and just wash, rinse, repeat. Everyone's a little bit different, right? Is that safe to say? So,
Yes.
as a personal trainer, what advice can you give to someone that's seeking professional help to transform their body? I mean, how do they filter out the BS?
Dude, there's a lot of it. I'll tell you
I,
what.
I've seen a lot of it. So,
So, I mean, honestly, there's different routes to get to where you want, but I think, investing in someone such as a coach that you really connect with, that's what's going to help you. Because there is lots of routes to help you lose that 10 pounds. It could be keto, carnivore, whatever it may be, but it should really just comes down to, what you like doing the best and what you feel like is going to push you as a person.
and a lot of that comes down to psychology. I remember when I was doing therapy, I didn't like my therapist and I got nothing out of it.
Yeah.
So, like, if I go in and you're my fitness coach and I just hate you, I'm not looking forward to coming in and seeing you. You know what I mean? So,
Right.
do you ever have that balance where like maybe you're pushing them a little too hard and you have to let up?
Not necessarily. I
Good
feel like,
clients then.
yeah, yeah, I do have some great clients. I'm super proud of them.
Good.
I do try to give them some space, if they're going through something, but I also do want to push them and try to help keep them consistent. So,
Yeah, no, consistency is definitely key. Everyone, I mean, you got to go read the Compound Effect. It's fantastic. It really, if you set yourself small goals towards a big goal, it doesn't even have to be a lot. I check off like brushing my teeth every morning. And every time I check that off my list, I get a dopamine rush. It's like I'm ready to go. Brushing your teeth is what so small, right? It's not a big goal. It's not like adding 50 pounds of muscle, but it gets my day going with a success. And I always try to tell people, I don't care what industry you're in, fitness, business, you could ride motorcycles for, I don't care. Like just set yourself up right out of bed with a goal. And if that goal is just making your damn bed, have an app that tells you to check it off and it totally tricks your system into a winner's mindset right away. And I love that.
I will say, so I've been trying this for about a week now, and I haven't told anybody I've been doing this. I've been kind of keeping it to myself,
Well, now
but
it's public.
now it's public. But I have been doing the 5 a.m. club morning routine.
Yeah, I saw you were up this early. I saw you read my message at 5 a.m. I was like, this guy is a narcissist. I can't. I can't do it, man.
So I've been waking up at 5 a.m. The first 20 minutes are set for
Yeah.
straight exercise. So I normally go on like a 2 mile run at 5 a.m. That gets your
Like
blood flowing
right out of bed?
right out of bed.
You're crazy. That's the Mark Wahlberg experience. He does the 3 a.m. or something like.
26 degrees. No one wants to do it. But dude, I'm telling you, when you get done, you feel like a champion in that first 20 minutes.
So kind of like what I said about completing a task. I mean, that's a big task getting up at 5 a.m. first off for all the other slackers out there. I'm a big advocate for sleeping until noon, getting my work done at night. But what you just said is so valuable because you're setting yourself up for success right when you wake up out of the morning. I
Yes.
brought the analogy of making my bed or brushing my teeth. You said, let's go for a 3 mile run. Like, I mean, if this is fitness, this is what we need to be talking about. These are the things that you need to do to get the results that you want. And I hate to say it, but there's no half butting or half assing. Screw you, YouTube. Fitness. It's either you're going to hit your goals or you're not. Because I worked out for 2 years straight and did not gain 1 pound of muscle. There was a problem there. And then someone told me, how much are you eating? about 800 calories a day.
Mm-hmm.
That was my problem. So,
but yeah, dude, I'm telling you, if you want to try this and everyone else listening wants to try this, you don't have to wake up at 5 a.m. It could be 6 or 7.
no, make them wake up. Make them wake up. I love it.
Okay, wake up at 5. Let's go.
Yeah, but you have to wake up at 5 if you're following us.
But first 20 minutes, exercise. The second 20 minutes of the hour is going to be reflection. So that means journaling, could be if you're spiritual, could be prayer, meditation. That's going to get your mindset right.
Yep.
And then the last 20 minutes is going to be growth. So a podcast, something that's going to help you get the wheels going and learn the day. So that hour right there literally sets you up for success.
Okay, so when you meant podcast, like what you're doing as your profession, or?
Yeah, I mean, it could be anything really. It could be one of my favorites is Lewis Howes' The School of Greatness. That's a fantastic one. So
okay,
just,
I gotta look at that.
Yeah.
I'll plug it. I'll make sure to plug it because I find I'm more creative right when I wake up. So sometimes what I'll do is I'll even lay in bed till 10 a.m. getting the most creative work out. Like I don't do emails until later at night because they're stupid. You know, I get thousands of emails a day. So what I do is I do creative work in the morning, and that could be, you know, I do a blog post or I write a, you know, do some sort of video, and it's just always, or edit videos. And I always get the most creativeness out in the morning. So that's just my way of approaching life in general. It just works for me. Everyone's a little different. But on the topic of fitness, man, I'm a big promoter of what you just said is like right when you wake out of bed, let's get this thing started. Let's fucking go, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Let's make it happen. And so
David Goggins style.
Wait, what?
David Goggins style, baby. Let's go.
There you go. There, yes, absolutely. And so I mean, I love to get after shit. So like if I get a goal in my mind, I'm going after it, and I don't care who's in my way. I'm pushing them out, and I'm going to make it happen. I mean, I can bring it back to business and, you know, cold calling thousands of businesses to get one deal. Like it's just like any goal you set, make sure that there's small intermediate goals, like Cooper said, so that you feel that dopamine rush of being successful. That's the whole point. And then you will get addicted to fitness. That's what happened to me. That sounds like it's what happened to you. And I think that's what applies to most people is they got to feel like they're winning throughout the entire time for it to make sense. Because why would you continue something if you felt like you were losing every single day?
Mm-hmm. For sure.
Would you?
No.
All right.
I mean, you got to have those little wins to help you build up, I feel like you were saying.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, here, number 3. Start low and progress slowly.
Start low and progress slowly. So get the form down and slowly work up. Is that where you're headed with that?
This is your question. Yeah, what works for you, big guy? You're the trainer.
I do like that. You know, get the form down and then work up in weights.
Okay.
Start off right out the gate, pushing 225 on bench. You're probably going to hurt yourself pretty bad. So I think starting off with good form first and then working up, that's definitely the way to go.
We have 2 different categories of people in this world, right? There's people that have worked out before. There's people that have never worked out. Let's just assume that you are someone that has never worked out. What he just said is you will hurt yourself in the gym because everyone wants to go for their PR, right? Their personal best or whatever it's called. And I've hurt my rotator cuff doing that, thinking I was stronger than I am. In reality, I wasn't, you know. I can do 280 now, and I feel pretty confident about that. But last year, I could barely do the bar. So to start off progressively and slowly, let's say I'm a guy that doesn't even want a trainer. I'm like, no, I'm going to do this myself. Would you say with that number 3, start low and progress slowly to do some research?
Definitely.
Okay. 100%. What research would you ask them to do?
Definitely, you know, research the form of the exercise you're going to perform, especially the compounds. Because with the machines, you know, there's pictures, you can kind of get away with it. But the compounds are where most of your muscle growth is going to come from. And
I've never done a compound.
Really?
Yeah, dude, I'm scared of them.
So compounds. So your bench.
Are you talking about like cleans and stuff and like?
Oh no. Those are compounds as well. You're right.
No, I do bench presses. Yeah, I do.
Okay, yeah. Bench is a good compound.
Okay.
But
I don't deadlift. I won't deadlift. You all crazy. In the title says dead.
Yeah, that's what I heard myself. Yeah, I do not
Oh, you
recommend.
did. Okay, good deal.
Yeah.
Good. So compounds work out multiple muscles, right? So
Yes.
what I noticed is I started developing shoulders and triceps through my bench presses. So that was really cool. And I mean, gosh, if I could talk to myself a year ago, I would have just wished I created a plan or followed a trainer's advice or signed up for a program and stuck with it, because when you're going at fitness alone, it's scary. And when you go into the gym 115 pounds, I'll show my photo pretty soon. Embarrassing. It's a humiliating experience, and you feel like you don't belong there, right? You get these other buff guys walking around you, waiting for you to get off the bench press. When you're just doing the bar, they're about to throw on 800 pounds. You're just like,
Right.
I don't belong here. What's going on? So, what advice do you have for those guys that are maybe a little scared to hit the gym?
The gym frat, yeah. So definitely it comes down to knowing what to do. And I think that comes down to, having a set plan and routine, as well as the knowledge to do the exercises. So
Right.
if you have the knowledge and the routine set, you go in the gym. I like to put a hat on because no one talks to you. That's like a little trick.
Is it really?
It really is. If you put
I,
a little cap on, no one says a word to you.
I've had the opposite experience. I just cut my hair for the first time in like 6 months, and I went to the gym this morning and everyone talked to me. Oh,
Really?
so maybe you're right. Yeah, maybe you're right, actually, because now people talk to me. No, you're right. The cap. No one talked to me. You're right.
Yeah.
Holy crap. Okay, that's a good little piece of advice. And for anyone listening, guys, no one gives a shit about what you're doing in the gym. Okay.
Mhm.
And if you're that embarrassed, go to Planet Fitness. There, you will be the most attractive person in general there. I can almost guarantee that. No offense, Planet Fitness members, but that's where I started. And I always felt like I was the hottest person there. So if you need to go to a gym like that, start at home. You can start at home. But if you're getting scared to go to the gym, knock that shit out, because it's all in your head, right? You're just creating problems and manifesting them to prevent you from hitting your goals. And I've never met someone like that goes to the gym just to hate on other people. I'm
Yeah.
sure it happens, but
Mhm.
that gym fear, I think it's just manifested of that little kid inside that maybe got bullied or something. Like, I want people to just be able to go get it, right? And you got to face yourself and look in the mirror and say, today's the day I'm going to make it happen. So,
Mhm.
I
I
like
will
what you said. Go ahead.
this as well. A lot of my friends, they're in the coaching industry, the fitness industry,
Right.
and there's some pretty big dudes. So when I go work out with them, they go to like the big boy areas and uh,
Yeah.
the roided out guys. And I'll tell you, those guys are the nicest guys you will ever meet.
Always. Always. I've never seen roid rage ever.
Yes. No, it's not a thing. Like they're there to put in the work. Like they're not going to be focused on
And if
you.
you talk to them, they're nice. I've
Yeah,
had hugs from those guys. Like,
they'll give you advice.
I'm
Yeah.
so people are, but I know seniors. I'm opening a gym in St. George, Utah. So like I did a lot of research, and like I was going to open a seniors only gym because there is not a franchise for seniors only. And the number one thing seniors have is the fear of the younger people and being around them. They just don't like it. They feel uncomfortable in that surrounding. And that's just gym fear all in general. So to get over that, what is one thing that you should say to people that are going to listen to this podcast to get over that fear?
Definitely. And this ties into a little bit of psychology, but how a person reacts to you is a reflection of themselves. So
Ooh, say that
like
again. I'm
how a
quoting that.
person reacts to you, or if they're attacking you or aggressive towards you, is really a reflection of themselves. So what I have found is usually the guys that are jacked, they look good, they're beasts. Those guys are so willing to help, give advice, just like decent human beings. But the
They
people
really are.
niches are usually like the college freshmen and wife beaters, screaming at the top of their lungs, repping it out.
Yep. Yep.
So
They're the ones that are yelling the whole freaking time, trying to
yeah,
get attention. Yeah.
so
I'd like
definitely
to
depend
I'll
on
take a boxing match to any one of those guys. If you're watching the show, I will take you on any day. I hate those guys. And they're the guys that I had a problem at Vasa Fitness in Salt Lake City, Utah yesterday, where one of those frat boys bumped into me and said, "Watch your back." And I was like, "What you want to do about it?" Like, I'm like, and he's just like, "Nothing." And then walked away. So they're all talk guys. So if you run into those guys, 9 times out of 10, they're all talk. Don't worry
yeah.
about them. Worry
Or
about
they're just
yourself.
yeah, or they're just trying to like prove something and there's no point to it. There's really
Good.
not.
Go
It's
prove it
waste
to
of
your
time.
girlfriend, go prove it to someone else. Like, I
Yes.
mean, I always, I'm a big opponent. Myself is my biggest opponent, right? Like, it took me 30 years to come up with the conclusion that there is only one person I have to compete with in this world, and that's me. So when I
Yes.
look at myself in the mirror and see my body, I take full accountability for the mistakes. I know exactly what I need to work on, and I have to compete with myself. And I think a lot of people should focus on just themselves and competing with themselves. It makes it a hell of a lot easier because you go on Instagram and you see all these big buff guys at your age. Half of them are on steroids, first off. Second half, they're only showing you the highlight reels of their lives. Instagram is the biggest lie ever told. Like, it
Yes.
is toxic. I would recommend any 19-year-old to stay off of it. You won't listen to that. If you're 40 and on Instagram, shame on you. Like, seriously, like, but it's just so negative because you're going to see people your age on yachts buffed
Mm,
out. You know what I mean? And they probably rented the yacht and saved up all year for it. They're not really living that lifestyle. So,
it is. It's all fake, man. Even if you see a great picture, maybe a fitness model, whatever. I have quite a few friends in the industry, and my thing is like, if you take steroids, whatever, if you're honest about it, like, it is what it is. Cool. If you want to push past that natural plateau, by all means. For me,
yeah, I started using PEDs therapeutically. Disclaimer: my doctor gives them to me, so like, I literally had the testosterone levels of a 98-year-old man.
oh shoot,
Yeah. So, and I was 115 pounds at 29. There was a
oh
big problem. And they threw me on all these antidepressants, and I was on all these downers and all this stuff. And like, the whole cause was testosterone. Like, the moment 3 months into testosterone replacement therapy, I was a different guy. People saw it, people smelled it, they could taste it. They were like, "Whoa, something's changed with John." He's going at his goals now. His company tripled in value in a year. It all came down to testosterone. So I recommend for any male, if you feel that low libido or low energy, how would you feel about that? Just get your levels checked. What's wrong with that? Is there
for
anything
sure.
wrong with getting? Would you have any opposing for a man that just feels like they're lethargic all day? Just go get your levels checked.
Oh, dude, 100%.
Okay,
Definitely do,
cool.
go check your levels and try to do stuff that is also going to increase your natural levels, like sunlight every day, getting good
Really?
sleep. Yes, 100%. Because there are things that you
Wow.
can do that actually help raise your natural testosterone levels to their limit.
That's beautiful. Yeah, I know ashwagandha and Tungat Ali raised my testosterone by 200 points. So
Dude, I've heard that.
definitely. No, it totally did, and it got to the point where the TRT clinic was like, "Dude, are you shooting up more?" And I was like, "No, I'm just taking these supplements," so they had to lower my dose. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I have done the full cycle. I've done it. I hurt my liver, I hurt my heart, and I did not gain 1 pound of muscle. And I wasted my body because I wasn't eating enough. Like, how stupid
Man.
is that? I learned the biggest lesson of my life. So,
Yes.
okay, so let's move on to build activity into your daily routine. So,
Mm.
what I think this question is like trying to stay mobile throughout the day. Now, if you're losing weight, cardio is your best friend. If you're trying to build muscle, I've heard cardio is your worst friend. What's your take on that?
For sure. So I just recently started doing cardio with this morning routine. Before that, I had not done cardio in 6 months. My cardio comes from heavy weight and going to the max. So that is what I personally do. It really comes down to preference. If you love, cardio and you want to get your cardiovascular system right, then that may be the route for you. But if your goal is to just pack on weight and muscle, you don't necessarily need it. So
Caleb, he had that TKO, but I mean, these guys were, yeah, man, both of them were throwing haymakers and eating every one. There was no dodging, like, and it came down to cardio for him, and it was cool to be able to see him. He took it like a champion. His whole face needs stitches, but both guys got messed up bad, and it came down to cardio. And we thought we were training enough to where cardio, we were doing cardio almost every day to hit the treadmill, but just not enough. And I think a lot of that was diet too. He told me he was eating McDonald's or all this, and he said he finally wants to start meal prepping. So Caleb, if you're watching this, man, stay on that because I just wagered $10,000 for you to rematch this guy. And I really did. I'm going to rematch and throw up some money for Caleb to win because he should have won this fight. He had a cold. Oh, yeah, that's a good segue. So Caleb had a cold and it kind of screw up his game plan. And so when you have a cold, what's your advice on going to the gym?
Oh, you need to rest. You need to get your body A1 because if you have a cold and you're trying to recover, if you go to the gym, that's going to take away from your immune system rebuilding itself.
Oh, so you're hurting yourself more.
Yeah. So you're like elongating the cold, which does suck because no one wants to lose their gains. But that comes down to immunity building and eating healthy food, so you don't get sick in the first place.
Yeah, no, definitely. I haven't been sick all year. And I think COVID had a big impact because I washed my hands like I'm it's kind of disgusting. I don't think I washed my hands like before COVID. Like now I wash my hands, 30 times a day and I have hand sanitizer, I just all around. And I've never like been one on washing my hands. And like, that's disgusting, man. But I think that's one of the reasons I'm not getting sick. But also I have such a healthy diet now where I'm eating lean meats. I'm doing organic protein. I'm getting all my BCAAs and all my amino acids and all my supplements. I mean, they cost like $300 a month, but it keeps me in this like super high, like my body immunity is just super active. And it's just like, I feel like I can fight off a cold and it doesn't even attack me at this point. So did you see that progressive? Do you use supplements or have any of those in your workout routine?
So I do have a couple supplements. I have taken other ones as well, like creatine. But I normally just stick to like probiotics, multivitamin, fish oil, some zinc.
Yeah.
Zinc helps with T levels as well, actually. Magnesium, and then some vitamin C.
And ZMAs is zinc and magnesium put together, right?
I believe so.
Because I was taking that and it helped me sleep better. And I know the fish oil, all it did, the fish oil confused me, Cooper. Basically, it made me not sore the next day.
Really?
So, yeah, so I thought I wasn't working out hard enough. But that's also a myth, too. Apparently, you can still gain muscle without being sore. I was like, wait, what? Like, so I was in the gym, an extra 3 hours to make sure that they're sore. But apparently, that's just catabolic state, and you're just going to lose the muscle. So there's what are your thoughts on that? If the guy works out, does his routine the first day, second day he's not sore, what does that mean?
So that doesn't necessarily mean anything, which goes against what a lot of guys think.
Well, I don't care what they think. This is what you think.
But you can have a great workout and not be sore. So
and still expect gains.
The same is likewise. If you have a great workout, you could be sore as well. I find that when people typically start new routines, then that, the new exercises, the new rep ranges are going to make your body sore because you're getting used to them.
Yeah. That's the plateau effect, right? Like when my buddy said, dude, you can lift more than you think you can and double the weights and I crushed my normal reps, I was like, it was just a big slap in the face. It's like, what have I been doing for the last 3 months? So, okay. So, plan to include different activities. So they're trying to say here that maybe you should do bicycling, add some sort of out of the gym activity that involves movement. Do you have any advice on that, or do you think the gym is good enough?
For sure. So, it does come down to your goals. If you're striving for weight loss, you want to shoot between 8,000 and 15,000 steps per day. So that could be going on walks. If you wanted a bike, then you could do that instead. But, I do try and typically get 5,000 steps a day, even though my goal is to build muscle and maintain muscle.
Right.
So just to keep blood flow going, and it's just good for you in general. So.
Well, good. No, I've heard that probably 3 or 4 times, so that seems consistent. And it's just I really want people to filter out the BS. That's why you're on the show. Is I'm going to share your Instagram in a second. And do you mind if I do that?
No, man, I'd love that.
Okay, because eventually this channel will pick up and get a lot of views, and so I'm going to go ahead and switch over to that now. And then, Jaron, I'm going to bring you on right now. Jaron, how you doing? Can you hear me?
Good. Yeah, you probably see me in the back room trying to get my setup
Well,
going. So.
yeah, I saw you. Better take your shirt off and flex on these guys real quick, though.
Dude, I'm kind of bloated. I
You
came
look
back
buff,
to the
dude.
came back to the US finally. Well, that's why, because US food clogs you up. So whenever people talk on Mexico, like, oh, Moctezuma's revenge or things like that, when you live in those countries for long enough, you get used to everything going right through you. Like, you eat and within 12 hours, everything's out of you. There's nothing clogged up, backed up, or anything. Well, you come to the US and all of a sudden with all of our preservatives and whatnot, I literally just bloat out. It's ridiculous.
Oh,
Although
so
it's nice
you're
because,
in the States right now.
yeah, I'm in Washington State right now.
Bro, that's where I grew up. I should be
Yeah,
up
that's
there
what you're
right
telling
now.
me. Yeah, that's what you're telling me. Yeah, so I've got the weird setup. You'll see me looking over here because the camera's here. But
That's
yeah,
okay. I like the
figured it out.
microphone. I finally got a microphone. Can you guys hear me okay even when I step back?
Yeah, you
Yes.
sound great actually. Yeah, I've had the microphone the whole time, but I think you just saw it out of frame and in previous videos.
Okay, so what I'm going to do is we're going to continue on, and then I'll have you hop on some of these questions in a second, Jaron.
Yeah, sounds good.
You're gonna have it. You had the fat kid to buff, right?
Yep, I used to call it former fat kid syndrome. So I lost 100
Okay.
pounds when I was 17. I was skinny, and then I had to put that back on, and then it's been a battle since to kind of straddle that mass versus leanness line. But I've gotten to the point about 2-3 years ago where I finally got to the point in my physique journey where I decided, you know what, I like where I'm at. So now I've been in the gym for 15 years though. So now I'm at the point where I just have to maintain. So my gym goal is to age gracefully and then not get hurt and really just enjoy life in general. So some of these questions, I might have different answers than Cooper just because
That's what I want.
because we have different goals. We have different challenges. We're at different stages in our life or in our gym journey. So I think that's important for people to note too.
I love the banter back and forth. I love composing counter opinions because that's what creates content. So guys, if you have to go at it, get on the gloves. Let's make it a fight night. You know
I don't think we'll go at it.
Of course
like I said,
no.
we have different goals, I'm sure.
We're all on the same podcast. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen right now. And we're going to continue on the path that we started before we brought Jaron here. This is Cooper. Can you all see that pretty well? Is this you, Cooper?
That is my client Jackson.
That's what?
That is my client Jackson.
Oh, that's your client. Damn it! I thought that was a fat version of you.
What a good name, Jackson.
Anyways, yeah. Well, here's Cooper Fitz. I want to go ahead and plug this, guys. Go ahead and follow this guy. He knows what he's talking about. He's a mentor in this space. He's really good at transformation goals. A lot of his reels get a lot of attention. So I want to show some of these pictures of you just, doing the best work you can. I mean, like these are triceps, right? You're going for the triceps here?
Yep. Some skull crushers.
I've never done them. I should probably work on those.
Oh, skull crushers are great.
Yeah. Look at this one. This is the biggest myth, part 1. And for those that are just listening to the podcast, there's some videos on stream, so make sure to hop on YouTube and catch it. So,
God, I haven't been to the gym in 3 days. You guys are making me sad.
Is this motivating you? Look at this.
No, dude, the airline lost my luggage, so I just got it just now. So now I can go lift. I've been so mad. Like off topic, but I've been irate these last few days.
I like what you said. Are you enjoying the process? I want to actually talk about that, guys. At what point did you start enjoying the process of the gym for both of you guys?
Cooper, you can go ahead. Oh, yeah, I'll go ahead. You know what? I started enjoying the process once I started seeing results. So I had different gym journeys. So when I was 17, I believe I call it peak fatness. I was at 285. And within a year, I eventually got down to 185. I think at first I lost like 80 pounds. I waited a couple months, then took the rest of the weight off. So I didn't enjoy the process.
Did we lose him?
I think so. I thought it was mine that cut out.
No, it's definitely Jaron, your internet cut. It's completely cut out.
Yep. Do you hear me now?
I hear you now.
So during our off-campus lunch, I'd go to the track. I'd walk laps too. After school, I would walk home. So really, it was just a lot of walking, and then it was just cutting crap from my diet. I at that time I didn't know how to do any macronutrient planning or anything like that. So it was really just kind of dealing with basic everyday person advice. I still remember back, like eating a lot of fruit and things like that, which if you know now, if you want to lose weight fast, you get the fructose out of your diet immediately.
Oh
So
yeah,
it's really,
that was a killer for me, was peanut butter and jelly with the high fructose corn syrup.
well,
Oh,
I grew up on a cherry farm. So I remember asking at like 17, like, how is it that I'm obese? Because I eat healthy. Cherries are healthy, right? Blueberries are healthy.
No,
Blackberries are healthy. No, it's pure sugar. I grew up on
for
pure
sure.
sugar with like no protein. Like, no wonder I was 100 pounds overweight at 17. But you start learning those things. But I started enjoying the process, I think, when I started getting results. And at first, it's real hard because your body wants to fight you. You have to remember, if you're 100 pounds overweight, like Cooper right now, if you wanted to put 100 pounds on right now, do you know how heavy you would have to eat? How much disregard you have to have for your body consistently for like a year? Like John, you put on 50 pounds. That was hard as
Yeah,
hell.
I'm gonna share that right now, actually.
Yeah, so to be obese, like, because I get guys with opposite gym goals. I get guys like, hey man, I was obese. How do I get the weight off? You're like, oh, you have a different gym journey than a lot of the hard gainer guys. So to put on 100 pounds of pure fat, you have to really try. And that goes the same way going the other way. Your body wants to hold on to that because that's been your set point for so long. For me,
It's
I was
been
17.
the energy source. For some reason, I've learned that
you lock your body in.
our bodies don't care about us or our feelings, is what I learned. I like why
It's a
doesn't it
system.
take the fat before the muscle? It's like it doesn't want to. I don't know why, you know, and
You can start to trick it, but yeah, you're right. For me, it's always like 50-50. If I do a bulk, it can be the leanest bulk ever, but I'll put on 1 pound of fat per 1 pound of muscle. On the leaning side, I've got some little tricks. So like you were talking about performance enhancing drugs earlier. So I do TRT. I always stay in range. But when I'm cutting, I'll sprinkle in like a female bodybuilder dose of Anavar just to hold the mass. And literally, you stay full, and you just watch your skin shrink wrap to you. And I don't ever go over like 25, 30 milligrams. It's a heavy dose for a female, but it's a nobody dose for men. So you learn little tricks in your journey. But I started enjoying the process. Really, I think once I started seeing a change in my body, because yeah, there were people that at first people made fun of me. At first, I remember like people driving by and laughing, like, "Oh yeah, you're so fat," and whatever. But after a few months, people are like, "Hey man, like, what are you doing?" Okay, we're starting to notice a change in you. But it's not so much the physical appearance; it's the attitude, it's the confidence, and it's not just because like, "Oh, I look hot in front of a mirror now." Your energy gets better.
Let's stop there on confidence. Like, at what point are you confident?
It's when your energy starts feeling better. So Cooper nailed it earlier. When you start sleeping right, when you start eating right, all of these things, I think a lot of people focus on, especially when they're new to this, like, oh, I need weight. I hate the term weight loss. It's like you need fat loss. You don't want to lose lean muscle mass. You need to lose fat.
Right.
Facebook always blocks me when I run ads for this, but it is true, guys. You want to lose fat. You don't want to lose weight. So let's be clear about that first. And when you start getting the fat loss off, fat does a lot of things to you that are not good for testosterone guys. You know that it aromatases. So if you're overweight, you have high estrogen. A lot of times, if you're overweight, you're going to be drinking too, because it clouds your brain. You make stupid decisions. It literally changes you into a different person. So when you go the other way and you start making healthy decisions, and I always tell guys that are new to this, trying to lose like 100 pounds from the get-go, don't focus on being the skinny, hot, six-pack you like I ended up being at the end. Focus on just health in general. And a big thing is not even your physical health, it's your mental well-being. And your mental well-being is directly tied to your physical state.
Dude, 100%. And like I told John earlier, dude, it all started in the mindset. I'm sure it did for you as well, but that's where it really started for me. And
I got tired of it. I got tired of being fat.
Yes, wanting to improve yourself, be the best quality person that you can be. It's all up here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you guys ready?
You feel crappy too. You physically feel crappy and you mentally feel crappy. Like I've been eating kind of cruddy these last 2 days. My mind's just a little cloudy. It's not bad, but it's just not as crisp as it should be.
I ate a Twinkie this morning and I feel
a little
sluggish.
It's Christmas. It's Christmas though. I always load up the weight. Like I do like a powerlifting routine for these couple weeks, and I eat whatever the family makes, and then I'll go home and cut. February 3rd, I'm in Nashville, and I'm gonna be shred town.
So as you see on the screen, guys, a year ago, this is me on the left, 115 pounds, obviously a ladies man right there, as you can tell. This was coming out of a relationship with a single mom. As
you look like a meth head trucker on the before photo.
That's what I was going for, actually. Yeah, you know, it's like if I got to get a look, it's going to be the meth head trucker look.
Those guys got game, bro. If you got drugs, you can get laid.
You know what? Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway,
That's a short.
so, I'm definitely clipping that.
Yep.
So this is coming fresh out of a bad relationship with a narcissist, gaslighting, single mommy, 3 kids, 3 baby daddies, cheated on me with all 3. So I was at the lowest point of my life, ladies and gentlemen, and I had to
We're
make
not trying
a
to laugh
change.
at your misfortune, but
Dude,
yeah,
no,
man, like,
please
good
do,
transformation.
please do. All I did was started listening to Richard Cooper's podcast and took everything he said to heart, went to the gym, lift up heavy stuff, put it down. Lift up heavy
So
stuff,
simple, right?
put it down. Yeah, and I put on 50 pounds of muscle. Now I lost some weight after my accident, so I think I'm at 168 now. And but that's me at my biggest. Right now I'm probably, I don't know, 10 pounds less than that, but I'll get it back soon. And it was just a big transformation because once I hit to that point, the guy on the left was not motivated for the gym. The guy on the right is like, hey, I want to go work out with the steroid guys now. You know, I want to bench press with
More
them now.
confident.
Super confident.
You look
right?
like you can kill it. Yeah.
I look like
You
what?
know-
I like hearing compliments twice. What did you say?
Yeah.
You look like you're gonna kill it in the right picture.
Oh yeah, no, it's like a fight night photo. No, I just loved it, man. And so that was my experience. Is like, you know, guys, if you get into the mindset that fitness is a journey and you understand it's a journey, Cooper made a very valid statement, and that's set obtainable small goals, because small goals lead to big goals, and big goals leads to championships, transformations. And I feel, you know, whenever I go into a gym and there's a heavy set guy and a very heavy set guy, I go up and I shake his damn hand. I give him props
me
for
too.
being there. I'm his friend.
I'll see those guys and you see them struggling and they want to give up. I'm like, hey, bro, just want to let you know I was worse than you. And they're like, no way. I'm like, pull out the phone, show them the transformation photos. And they need that because, like you said, especially when you're new in the gym, you have that fear of gym syndrome. And to answer your previous question, as far as when you start feeling good about it or when it's worth it, I've noticed that it's also when you walk into the gym and at first you're like, oh, I belong here. Like, I don't stand out like a sore thumb. I'm in just as good a shape as other people. And then you keep going. You keep knocking off these goals year over year. Again, I've been at it for like 15 years. So you don't realize at the time, you're like, oh, I'm 18% body fat. Let's go for 16. Wow. Let's go for 14. First time I got to 10% body fat, I thought that was impossible because
that's where I'm at now. And
now I try to maintain between 10 and 12. I'm probably during holidays, I'm like 13, 15. If I ever get 18, it just immediately cut for 3 months. Like, it is unacceptable for me to be over a certain body fat percentage. But you get to the point where you're in your journey, you're like, oh, not only do I belong in the gym, but like I'm kind of someone in the gym now. Like you notice as you start pulling away from the competition in the gym, you're like, oh, I'm one of those jack guys.
Yeah.
Like, when did that happen?
I'm the guy I was afraid of. You know, that's that's a good feeling to have. And like Cooper said, most of those guys are nice. They really are.
And it's
like when you're saying they're nice guys, I'm like, yeah, that's me. I'm like, oh, hell yeah, dude. I'm so excited to see new people in the gym.
Me too.
I think Jared was saying the weight loss, the 16, 14, 12%, dude, it just keeps you going. I think once you realize it, that's when you become proud. You become pumped. Go to the gym.
You start to enjoy the process too. Like, I'm like, okay, like to get from 21% body fat to 18% body fat, I can do that with this diet. But from 18 to 15, there's new considerations. So for example, if I want single digit body fat, at about a week or two out, lactose is out of my diet. Salt starts to go low. All of your sugars, all of your artificial sweeteners, it all gets replaced with stevia. But I'm going to do sugar here for the holidays. But if I did that for 2 months, I'll be at 20% like that overnight. So you start adding little things and removing certain things. And I'm at the point now. Yeah, you guys got to track too. I think when you were talking earlier, when you track, like I can go back through all my weightlifting logs and diet logs for the last 15 years. It's all in spreadsheets, and I know exactly what to do to achieve really any physical goal within any set time frame, which is really nice.
Fitness Pal, Jared?
Yep. Yeah, I use my Fitness Pal.
That's the one.
Yeah, I use
and
that one too.
After a while, do you notice that like all your meals look the same? Like it's like in my head, I'm blocking meals. I'm like, breakfast is either one of 3 approved breakfasts. Lunch is one of 4 lunches I've eaten every day for the last week. Or I normally do intermittent fasting. So for me, it's like 1.5 pounds of meat. And then I fill in my carbs with like French toast or protein pancakes or something.
Dude, simplicity is key.
Oh yeah. Cause you can be consistent. Mm-hmm. And you get really good at cooking too. You're like, all right, this French toast has to be bomb. Like it's egg white, it's sugar-free maple syrup, like stevia in the batter, and literally one slice is 10 carbs. So like, oh, I'm 100 carbs shy. Just stack of French toast and just throw them back.
See,
And
Jaron,
you know
Jaron,
exactly what it measures
I
out
had
to
the,
be.
I had the opposite experience. I had to eat crap. Like I would eat plain chicken breast a pound a day to bulk. Like I was,
You had a calorie problem.
I
Like,
didn't eat for taste. I ate just to grow. Like, and I was eating garbage. Like it was disgusting. Like plain chicken overcooked is never good. Same thing with
oh,
fish. And I was just putting it down because I
yeah.
had to.
It's
So
dry.
I went the opposite way as you guys, you know, and it's like I for anyone that says it's easier to lose weight than to gain weight, I think it's an even match, honestly.
Yeah.
Depends on how your body's set. For me, it's so easy to gain weight. Like I had 3 sugar cookies last night. Like that's like what 1,000 to 1,200 calories that weren't in my diet. I woke up with like chipmunk cheeks and the puffy little eyes right here. Like it's ridiculous because your body has a set point, especially when you're consistent for so long. And the minute you throw something at it, like I was in Miami, we are like smoking cigarettes, cigars, just drinking whiskey all weekend. I don't drink or smoke ever. So that Monday coming home, like, man, I was a hurting pup. I was messed up. But the minute you get back in the gym, your body snaps back and they're like, here we go, champ. And that's the mentality you want to keep moving forward. And again, for me, it's all general health. It's not about looking good. That's a byproduct of just being physically, mentally, spiritually, emotionally, whatever, healthy.
No, I think it all starts with fitness, man, because I didn't dominate in my business until I was fit. Like I really didn't. I took everything as a challenge. Now everything's
It's a center point in my life for me.
Definitely up here. Okay, so as you were hearing, I was going down a list of questions, so now I can include you, Jaron, on this. We'll start off with Cooper. Jaron from Mentrine will answer or hopefully have a counterintuitive approach to these questions. That would be the goal. Yep. Okay, so try high interval intensity training. HIIT training is what they call it. Cooper, what's your thoughts? And then Jaron, please follow up with something opposite.
For sure. So, I mean, I do think it's great for cardiovascular health as well as weight loss. You know, if your goal is to pack on muscle and pack on weight, I wouldn't recommend a lot of HIIT training. But, you know, if you are trying to shed that weight, interval training is a great way to go about it. And it has more benefits than long-term, like just running 3-4 miles, whatever, for weight loss. So that's kind of my take on it. It also helps preserve muscle as well if you are trying to lose the fat.
For me, I've experienced it a few times. Now, actually, depends on where I'm at in the process. So I'm doing a mini bulk right now, so there's not really any cardio. Like Cooper said earlier, you can get your cardio from weights if you schedule your routine right. So a lot of my routine is actually kind of a high intensity interval training already. I do like 20 to 40 seconds time under tension. I go way lower. I don't go for strength or really like the amount of weight pushed on the bar anymore. So I do like 20, 40 seconds time under tension. And then whatever's left over, that's my rest time. So it's like 20 seconds max. And I block every set is a single minute. So I go more for volume. And I noticed because of with my physique, if I go more for weight or if I go more for like more of your traditional hypertrophy bodybuilding routine, I get big. I get really big, really fast, like uncomfortably big. Like I'm out of breath when I walk upstairs, and I can still be eating in a severe deficit.
Do you mind if I share your Instagram, Jaron?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay.
So when I lift, I like to hire, and I want good cardio too, because like you said with Caleb, it sucks gassing out with cardio. So I kind of incorporate the high intensity interval training mindset into my weightlifting regimen. And then when I do cardio, like before this Miami trip, I think I was doing 2 or 3 days of cardio a week. I go low intensity, steady state. And for me, that's because I'm fasting usually. So that's to try to get as much fat off as possible.
Look at your back muscles here and how defined they are. Is this from that routine you were talking about?
Yeah, that's my normal maintenance routine. So I was doing a bit of cutting
jacked,
before
dude.
Miami.
Like that's insane though.
Yeah,
when I pointed that out to you, like it was just crazy. I was like, dude, look at your back, man.
So I do a lot of volumization training too, which is really just like Arnold in the classics used to call it, like just getting the pump in there, like fill that muscle full of blood. Getting back to the cardio thing. So I do the low intensity steady state. If you go to mentrine.com, I have some articles on it, like how to make cardio suck less or like 6 fat loss myths you need to forget today. And I'm a fan of low intensity steady state just because for me, it's like a mental time too. So I get on a stationary bike and I do things like you guys know, I play guitar. So like I'll write music, I'll compose stuff, I'll plan my diet, I'll do a grocery list, I'll do meal prep. I usually have Evernote open. So I'll just be in there clicking away. Sometimes I'll write a blog article for Men's Shrine, and then before I know it, I look down, I'm like, oh God, I'm at minute 90. I meant to do 20 minutes. So you got plenty of cardio there. And in this pick, I was living in San Diego on the beach. So
For all the people that are listening via podcast, to look at these images is Jaren Scott, JarenScott, is his Instagram handle, and you'll see him pre-buffed out on a beach, and you can go ahead and take over now.
Yeah, in this before photo, that wasn't me at peak fatness. That was me, like, I'd already been in the gym like 6-7 years at that point. I just didn't have a routine. And a lot of guys fall into this. Like, I go to the gym every day, but I don't look like you. I'm like, we don't have any goals. You're not tracking anything. You're just kind of going screwing around, and you're doing it consistently, but you don't know what's going in your mouth. You don't know what kind of physical expenditure you're doing in the gym. It's all an energy equation, really. So you have to get a bit scientific about it. But going back, so the low intensity steady state cardio for me, I turned it more into kind of a mental game too, which helps me get through it. And living in San Diego, Cooper, you nailed it. You need sunshine. Again, my goal is physical or like actual happiness. Well-being is my goal. So living in San Diego, I was on the boardwalk. I just got a single speed, little beach cruiser, and every single morning for a minimum of 20 minutes, that's how I started my day. Sunshine, heart rate going, a lot of pretty girls. That they're all. If you're in San Diego, I know Paul is, like, they're all they're all learning how to rollerblade at like 6 a.m. So you'll see them falling over, but you'll see them get better too. Like, you'll have the YouTube girls out there, like, trying to set their poses for like their skateboarding or their rollerblading videos. And then at night at sunset, you'll see these same girls a couple months later. They're like doing their poses and looking hot, and they have like little disco parties going. So the boardwalk is happening. And that, we'll get into this and other topics in the future, but that gets more into like guys that are looking to be location dependent. You have to pick where you want to live too. You have to plan your lifestyle. Jared, I'm in Washington State right now. It's so cold, dude. Like, the last thing I want to do is go outside. It sucks.
Dude, it's snowing here where I am. I got 6 inches.
It's snowing here
snow.
too. It's so cold.
I'm done, man. I go out to the car and I preheat it by the auto start. I wait an hour. I don't care about gas.
Yeah, I was in a tank top 3 days ago in Mexico City, hiking the castle with my cousin, and now it's like freezing snow and cold. Yeah, what's up, Cooper?
You mentioned San Diego. I am moving there in January.
Oh, nice.
So
nice. It's a fun city.
Dude, I'm so pumped.
I hate it.
Yeah, you'll like it.
I hate San Diego. I hate it.
Of California cities, it's my favorite city. But after a while, I got tired of living there. Well, that's because I've done the international thing. It doesn't compare to international.
I was poor when I lived there, and everyone was richer than me. No. Everyone made it a goal to be richer than me. And that's what I learned is like, everyone has a BMW. Everyone has a Porsche. Yep. And I was riding this Kawasaki Vulcan 600, and I had a motorcycle that's in. I'm cruising down the Pacific Coast Highway, and everyone's driving Bentleys and Ferraris, and I'm just feeling like a piece of crap. And I weighed 115 pounds. So I mean, now probably I'd do okay out there, now that I've made some money and have some successes, but I hated San Diego. I hated it.
California is rough because I was in San Diego for like 7-8 years, and you work really, really hard just to get by. And then once you get to that point, you're like, all right, like, I can afford to live kind of how these people like enjoy the SoCal lifestyle, but you never get ahead. And there's a while I went out to Texas for a couple of years, like immediately put cash in the bank, like just stacked hand over fist in cash. And then went back to San Diego, and just immediately that money started kind of trickling down again. You're like, oh, it's California. Like, just you walk outside for any reason at all, you're guaranteed going to spend $100. It doesn't. Like, oh, I'm going to 7-Eleven to get an energy drink. Doesn't matter.
So expensive
out of your pocket.
So expensive. So, guys, we're almost at the 1 hour mark.
If you start getting ahead in California, the government goes against you too. Like
that's why Tesla moved to Texas for a reason. Right.
Yeah, you start getting ahead in life, and then people start looking at you like, oh, when you're poor, they're not there to help you, but by any means, don't get that messed up. But then, the minute you start making some money, they're in your pocket.
Guys, we got to reeled in a little bit. I'm going to ask some rapid fire questions, just reframing the whole podcast. Jaron, I'd like you included on this. So, Cooper, you'll start, and then Jaron, you answer. So, consider your fitness goals is number 1 on the list. How important is that, and what's 3 tips on how to consider your fitness goals?
Ooh, great question. So like we talked about, that is a huge pillar in starting your journey, fitness wise, but also mentally as well. So I think setting those short-term and long-term goals, that's going to be the first step. So setting those goals, short and long-term, short meaning, 1 to 3 months, long-term meaning, 6 to 12 months, maybe even longer. So I think that is going to be the first step. The second step is going to be consistency with attaining those goals. So that means setting your daily habits to reach those short-term goals and eventually the long-term goals. And then 3, just keep pushing yourself and keep breaking through those plateaus. If you do hit a plateau, kind of make a pivot so that you can keep your progress rolling.
I love it. What about you, Jaron?
That's fantastic. 3 tips. Dang, you took like 2 of mine, or 2 of mine. So
That's okay. You can repeat it in different words.
No, a big thing is, guys, measure your body. I know, like for me, it's a body fat equation, but I like Dexa scans a lot. And a lot of people say, oh, they're not perfectly accurate. That doesn't matter. Have set consistent variables for when you test. So for me, if I do a Dexa scan, I usually do them every 90 days. I'll do it in the morning. I'll do it fasted. Then my diet the day before is exactly the same. It's just my maintenance diet. So there's no new variables. So even if the Dexa scan's like 3% off one way or another, whatever the margin of error is, I'm going into it under the same set of circumstances. So, because what I want to track is baseline. I want to track month over month or quarter over quarter change, whether it's in the positive or the negative. Also, when you do Dexa scans or things like that, there's a lot of different ways to measure, but Dexa is my favorite. They'll do like a Fit 3D PAL or whatever the heck they call it. And it'll take like a 360 panoramic view of your body, and it'll break down your muscle mass. So I go for the golden ratio, which is like the definition of beauty. And it'll literally tell you like your shoulders are symmetrical, or your bicep, like this one's 0.2 pounds more than this one. And it's really cool. I think on a future podcast, I can pull them up because I'm a big dork about tracking. So I'd recommend, it doesn't have to be Dexa. I would recommend it if you have that ability, if you're in like a larger metro area. But if not, find a way to start tracking your physical body measurements. Even if you have to go on Amazon, get a $10 body fat little caliper, you put it around your gut here and just squeeze it, track it into a log every day. And that way it helps when you're tracking your diet, because you could see, okay, well, I've made this change in my diet. Like maybe I'm at 200 carbs a day for maintenance, which is my maintenance. And that's pretty low for most people. That's very low for a lot of people. And if I start getting puffy, I'll take it down to like 100 carbs or maybe like 50 carbs. And that's when I have like that paper thin skin, but then I have to do a reload at some point. So you're trying out these new variables and you can see how they interact with each other. You're like, okay, well, for 90 days, I'm going to do this training and eating philosophy. And then I'll do the Dexa scan and see what the results like. And you can see this in real time.
I've heard people mention that to me 3 or 4 times. I just looked one up. It's about 5 minutes away from my house. I'm booking that schedule and I'm going to do it.
Yeah, do it. It gives you all sorts of cool insights. I know we probably have a time issue, but if not, I can pull one up real quick too.
It's fine.
So track your physical measurements as far as that progress. I'd say, I'm going to make them all tracking. Let's track your diet. So use like MyFitnessPal. Everything that goes in your mouth needs to be tracked, because a lot of people underestimate what they eat. They're like, oh yeah, man, I eat like 1,700 calories a day. Like, no, dude, you eat like 3,700 a day. Like I watched you eat 4 donuts right now, and those are like 450 calories a piece, even like little baby ones. Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, you got to be honest with yourself.
Full sugar soda. I was like, dude, you just downed like half a gallon of full sugar Coca-Cola. Like, how are you not in diabetic shock right now? So track what you put in your mouth, track what goes in your body. I'll also say too, if you're new to the game, like use like a My Body Space, or I'm sure there's other ones out there to track your routines, especially if you have a coach. Like if you're one of Cooper's guys, I actually like using like an old school like notepad. Like I had like a little book and I'd put a pen in it and I'd take it around and write it in there, because then I could go outside of the parameters of the app. I could put other little additional notes in there. I could ad hoc things while you do it, and then just do it consistently. And then again, after like 15 years, you kind of know exactly how your body's going to respond based on what you throw at it, which is really nice, because then it's not a challenge anymore. Then it becomes, I use the analogy that you're like a symphony conductor. You're like, how do I want to look and feel today? All right, let's do it. Or John, like you get to the point in business where like you have all your systems down, your workflow's down, all the pistons are firing in order. You're like, how much money do we want to make today? That's a great place to be in.
Yeah, I love that place.
Get your body there, guys.
Okay. Well, thank you so much, Jaron. Hey, I'm going to pull you out and ask Cooper a couple more questions. We're going to have a show on investing next week. I want you on, and Jaron, are you available, Jaron, next week?
Oh, I'm home in small town America, and there's no one on Tinder, so I am more than available.
I will shoot you a text with the date and time, okay?
All right.
And wait, give yourself the plug. Give yourself the plug for the people that aren't watching on YouTube.
Yes, head to Menshrine, MENSHRINE.com. That is my personal site. It is the hub of everything I'm doing content-wise. You can also find me on Instagram at Menshine, or my personal at Jaron Scott. That's where you'll see like, bodybuilding photos and just kind of my general lifestyle. At Menshine is more branded, so it's all more about like men's improvement, investing, the physique thing, a little bit of dating stuff thrown in there. Find me on Facebook too, TikTok, all that good stuff. And really, what my goal is to I've been saying like I build champions. So that's not just training someone in the gym and saying like, hey man, you got a good physique. Because as you guys alluded to earlier, there's guys in the gym with good physiques and their mind is just complete crap. So I approach it more from a mindset issue in terms of, we use words like, if you're the hero of your own movie, how do you write the script? Or you're the architect of your own universe. So I really get into planning your perfect day, planning your lifestyle, goal setting, visualization activities, and then a lot of the mental hacks and tricks to go about doing this stuff. So for someone to lose 100 pounds, for example, yeah, it's super easy to say, okay, go in a caloric deficit of 500 to 800 minimum calories a day. Like, okay, well, what does that mean? How do you do that? So I'll show you actually how I did do it. The framework I used, and I won't set it in stone, and I'll help you start to think in terms of understanding yourself to develop frameworks in ways that will work specifically for you. So that's the goal of Menshine there. Just getting that off the ground. We'll have some really cool stuff planned for 2022. So at least go there, sign up for my YouTube, follow me on Instagram, and then get on the mailing list too, because I'm going to start releasing some premium stuff here very, very shortly.
Congrats, Jaron. And I'm so excited to see what this thing turns out for you, man. And be sure to put me on your show too, and Cooper.
I will. Yeah, I'm going to launch here and probably in a week or two. I got to plan out some more content and some distribution stuff. And I'm ready to roll.
Let us know as the Slackers how we can help. Okay.
Sounds good. Hey, thanks, guys.
All right, brother. Thanks for hopping on.
Bye.
Guys, I love Jaron, man. He's the energy he brings to the table. I mean, he's the most calculated person I've ever worked with. Like he comes to me with like, not just like, hey, let's go do something. Here's how we're going to do it. You know what I mean? And I love that mentality. So it's cool to have him on. But to get back to these things, one of the other questions was allow time for recovery. How much time are you giving your body for recovery for beginning into fitness? And this, let's just take a overweight guy going skinny. How much time does he need? And then let's do a bodybuilder from skinny to buff. How much time does he need?
For sure. So getting into the gym, I mean, to be honest, you at least want 24 hours for recovery between your workouts. And you at least want 1 full day of recovery between your workouts as well. So you could do a 6-day split if you wanted to. Getting into the gym, that is going to be a lot. It's going to be like you're hit with a truck. So you may want to start out with 4 days or 5 days to kind of work yourself up. And, 4 or 5 days spread out, hitting different muscle groups. That's going to optimize your recovery and your ability to grow.
So let me ask you something. So I work out 7 days a week. I don't do rest days, and it's because I'm on this glorious thing called testosterone replacement therapy, and my body heals really fast. So even before that, I was doing 7 days a week, and I found that I was actually losing muscle at that point. So before I even got on testosterone, like I couldn't gain a muscle to save my life. I worked out for 2 years, gained nothing, came down to a food issue. So what about, I keep hearing about the push-pull leg split. Have you looked much into that workout routine for guys looking to gain muscle? Is it really as effective as everyone's saying?
Dude, I've done it all. I'll tell you. So it depends on your goals. If you're bodybuilding, yes, push-pull legs, you could do a rest, push-pull legs. You could do straight 6 days of push-pull legs. My personal favorite is push-pull legs, rest, and then upper, lower, and then rest. So 5 days a week. That's my favorite.
Upper, lower, then rest.
Yes.
Oh, I butchered all those typos. I'm not commenting that. People can rewind it.
You want me to say it again?
Huh? Yeah, say it again.
So push, pull legs, and then you want a rest day. So that'd be on Thursday is your rest day. And on that rest day, you can use like active recovery. So that could be yoga. You could go hiking in nature, whatever you like to do. And then upper, lower, and then rest.
And would you say that's your favorite workout?
I would say it's my favorite split for sure. Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to clip that. That's going to be a great clip. So I want 3 pieces of advice. We're going to end this pretty soon, guys. 3 tips for entry-level gym goers, and feel free to, plug anything that you have going on. I want to make sure that we're promoting you as much as you are promoting us. So what are 3 tips for entry-level gym goers that you have?
For sure. So I'm going to use the mind, body, and health. So if you guys don't know, that is my program, the mind, body, health. So the 3 tips that I would give you is start off with the mind. You have to make sure your mind is right? In the right mindset. That's going to help create mental discipline. It's going to help you out with your fitness goals and your confidence. So the first tip is get your mind right? The second tip is nutrition. So you got to start eating right? We become what we eat. So if you're eating shit foods, Burger King, McDonald's, Arby's, I fucking hate Arby's.
Twinkies. Twinkies.
Yeah,
I eat Twinkies.
Then you will become a Twinkie, If you,
I'm becoming a Twinkie. I am.
so we become what we eat. So that is the second tip, is to, make sure that your nutrition is whole foods. What do I mean by whole foods? If it has one word in it, it's probably safe to eat. So orange, banana, chicken, eggs, avocado,
Steak,
That's perfect.
ground beef.
Sure.
2 words. It's a little bad though. I think ground beef is, some red meats are, you don't want to eat too much, right?
Yeah, I mean, it could affect your cholesterol levels. I love steak, so every chance I can get, then
Yeah, I'll eat it too.
But yeah, so your mind, your nutrition, the whole foods, and then making sure that you get on a solid regimen. Because if you kind of just wing it, you show up to the gym, do whatever you feel like doing that day, then you're not going to optimize the results that you can achieve.
Okay, so to recap this and what you said, I think is genius, is the first step, guys, get your mind, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, get your mind right? You want to be confident when you get started on this program. Okay, then you got to start eating right. And if you need help with eating right, reach out to Cooper on his Instagram, guys. I'm sure he'd give you free advice, and then he'll make you pay eventually, because that's what he does. We all do. But seriously, guys, diet is so damn important. You're not going to gain and you're not going to lose if you don't have a good diet plan. And then be solid on a plan. And I think what Cooper said there is you got to stick to it, guys. And if you set those obtainable small goals like he explained in the beginning of the show, you're going to have no problem sticking to this plan.
Mm-hmm.
You have anything else to say?
Dude, thank you so much for having me. And if you guys are interested in mental health, nutrition, training, I tie all 3 of those together with my program, Mind, Body, Health.
Do you have a website for that?
Most of my incoming clients do come through Instagram. So
okay,
we're still getting set up, but my Instagram is Cooper Heller Fit.
Okay, so Cooper Heller Fit, guys, for everyone that is listening and not watching, that's COOPERHELLERFIT for his Instagram. Do you have a Twitter or YouTube channel?
I do have a YouTube, but it's private for my clients.
Okay.
I'll public one soon. So.
Well, no, keep it private. I think that's a smart move, actually. So guys, if you're looking to transform your life, get on that private YouTube channel as fast as possible. So
yes.
Guys, thank you so much. And Cooper, thank you so much for hopping on, man. And I'm going to try to make this a weekly segment if you have time for it. I think physical appearance is, again, one of the 5 modern pillars to success. And it is so important that you feel confident in your own skin in any avenue that you decide to take in life.
John, thank you for having me, man.
No worries, brother. I'll see you soon, okay?
All right, see you, buddy.
All right, bye-bye. I mean, I can't even say anything better about that show, guys. Make sure to like and subscribe if you're listening to us on Apple Podcasts. Please leave us a 5-star review or anything if you found any of this advice to be worthy. Cooper knows his stuff, guys. This guy, I've vetted so many different people in the health and fitness area. He is consistent, and I look for consistent players when it comes to anyone that I employ on my team. Any business that I start, it's got to be consistent, right? And you just met 2 great gentlemen that are consistently dominating in the areas that they are professionals in. So, guys, please go follow Cooper Heller Fit. Please follow Modern Slackers. Follow Jaron Scott and Men's Shrine. And I can't wait to hear from you guys again. And we're super excited to show you the next episode. Anyways, good luck, Slackers. Make it a habit. I'll see you guys soon. Bye-bye.